This happened 2 years ago, when I was 17. One night, my parents were out of town visiting my aunt in Pennsylvania, and I had the house to myself for the weekend. I didn't plan anything wild, just pizza, gaming, and maybe staying up late watching creepy YouTube videos. You know the kind. It was around 2 a.m., and I was lying in bed watching a horror compilation when I heard something in the wall. At first, I figured it was just the house settling, or maybe an animal in the attic. But the sound wasn't random. It was a soft tapping, rhythmic, like a knuckle lightly hitting metal. I muted my video and listened. It was coming from the vent above my closet. Our HVAC system has a weird design, and that vent connects directly to a crawl space above the second floor. It's not really accessible unless you go into the attic and climb into the space between the walls. I stood up on my desk to get closer to it. I don't know what I expected. Maybe a squirrel or a raccoon. Instead, I heard breathing, very slow, very steady. I whispered, "Hello?" It stopped. I jumped off the desk and shut my bedroom door. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I called my dad and told him what happened. He told me to go check the attic, just in case something really did get in. I was terrified, but I didn't want to sound like a wuss. I pulled down the attic ladder, climbed up, and shined my flashlight around. Nothing at first, just insulation, storage bins, dust. Then I noticed a square panel on the far side of the attic, slightly ajar. It led to the crawl space behind the walls. I didn't go in, but I shined my flashlight through the gap. I saw food wrappers, an empty water bottle, a crumpled blanket, and a disposable camera. That was enough. I got out of there and called the police. They came, searched the space, and found clear signs that someone had been living there. The camera had several photos on it, some too dark to make out, but a few were unmistakable. Pictures of me. The theory was that someone, probably a squatter, had gotten in through the attic vent during some roof repairs a month earlier, and had been living in the walls, sneaking down at night for food. To this day, I don't know how long he was watching me, but every time I hear a creak in the house, I find myself staring at the vent, wondering if something's looking back. I was home alone on a rainy evening. My parents had gone out for the night, and my younger sister was at a friend's house. Around 10 p.m., I heard a knock at the door. I wasn't expecting anyone. I looked through the peephole. No one was there. Just darkness. I checked the time, 10:12 p.m., and went back to the couch. Another knock, this time louder. I stood up slowly and looked through the peephole again. Still no one. I felt uneasy, so I locked the door and sat back down, trying to focus on the TV. The knocking stopped for a few minutes, but then it came again. I called my parents, but no answer. Then I got a text from my mom. "We're on our way back. Did you hear anything weird tonight?" Before I could respond, the knocking came again. I stood up and checked the window. There. I saw a shadow moving near the door. It was just a silhouette, but I could make out the outline of someone standing there. I grabbed my phone and called 911. By the time the police arrived, the shadow was gone. They checked around the house, nothing. No sign of forced entry. The only thing they found was a single wet boot print on the front porch. They told me to be careful, but they couldn't give me any answers. The knock never came again. But now, every time I'm home alone, I hear it. That soft, persistent knock. And I always wonder who's out there, I'm a 38-year-old dad. A few weeks ago, my wife took the kids to visit her sister. I stayed behind for work. Just a quiet weekend alone. Friday night, I was watching a movie around 10:30 p.m. when I heard something outside, like a pop or a tap on the wall, then a scraping noise. I paused the TV and looked through the blinds. Two guys were standing by my back gate, hoodies up. One of them was holding what looked like a crowbar. I froze, then checked every lock in the house and called 911. That's when the power cut out. Everything, lights, TV, fridge, silent. Seconds later, bang, they hit the back door, then glass shattered, laundry room window. They were inside. I grabbed an old bat from the hallway closet and crouched low. One of them turned into the hallway, and I swung. Got him in the shoulder. He screamed and dropped the flashlight and sprinted across the street. Cops came fast. One guy got away. The one I hit got arrested. He had gloves, zip ties, and a knife. They weren't just burglars. They were ready to hurt someone. My wife and kids came home Sunday. I didn't tell the kids what happened. But since then, every night, I sleep with a bat next to the bed, and I still flinch when the power flickers.